Okay, so today we're going to look at, learn about what a personal narrative is. John, have you ever heard of a personal narrative before?
Is it like a story?
Yeah, exactly. It is a story. A personal narrative is a non-fiction story that the author writes about a personal experience that they had. So, do you understand what the term non-fiction means?
So like, real.
Yeah, exactly. It's an actual event that happened. You're describing something that actually happened to you. Usually, in a personal narrative, you're trying to get some kind of reaction out of your audience. So an emotional reaction, or express them a lesson you might have learned from this experience to show them why this experience is important. So real quick, we're going to go through and look at 5 characteristics of what a personal narrative is. So can you read for me the first one?
Right here?
Yeah.
So it uses the first person singular?
Exactly. So a personal narrative, the author is usually telling the story from their perspective. So they're using pronouns like I, and I did this, and then this happened, and I thought this. So they're telling it from their perspectives. That's what it means by the first person singular. Can you read me the second characteristic?
A character description.
Yeah. So in a personal narrative, the narrator, the person that's telling the story, you're going to be giving lots of description, using descriptive words and vocabulary to introduce different characters that are going to take part in your narrative. So when you introduce a character, you should use descriptive language to make that character seem real to your audience. Can you read the third one for me?
Setting description.
Setting description. Okay, so what do you think this is talking
Is
about?
it kind of like the character description, but like what's going on, where the event is happening?
Exactly, yeah. And so with setting description, you can use adjectives that will, using all 5 senses. So how a place smells or feels or looks. You can include sounds or what, using all the senses to make your setting come alive. Can you read the next one for me?
Dialogue.
Dialogue. So what does dialogue mean?
I'm not sure.
Not sure? Okay. So dialogue is when you include a conversation in the story. So when you're using the first person singular, you're describing, telling about the event that happened. You're talking about the event from the future, looking back. And so when you use dialogue, you're going to be writing down conversations or something that happened at the time that you're describing. So it's current with the event that you're describing. Usually when you use dialogue, you're going to use quotation marks to show that someone's speaking. Okay? Does that make sense?
No.
And what's the last one?
Interesting details and personal insights.
Yeah. So, kind of like we said before, when we introduced what a personal narrative is, you want to have some sort of insights in your story, saying, reflecting on what happened, why it's important. This part's very important because it kind of shows the purpose of the story and makes your audience interested, helping them learn something maybe from what you've learned. So to kind of grasp these concepts a little better, we're going to go ahead and read an example essay by another 8th grader like yourself. And here on your worksheet, for each characteristic, you have a certain color that corresponds. So as we read through this story aloud, I want you to highlight when you see a characteristic that matches up with using the first person singular, or setting description, dialogue, character description, or personal insights. I want you to highlight those examples in the text with the corresponding color. And we'll pause every paragraph or so you can kind of identify what's in that. So can you start out reading the first paragraph?
Should I highlight as I'm going, or?
Yeah, you can highlight as you're going.
Okay. My knees were shaking, and my heart was racing, and my breathing was rapid. Why was I so nervous? I have received plenty of awards. Why should this one be any different? I looked over to my mom and gave her a nervous smile. She tried to comfort me by returning my smile. I returned my attention to my English teacher at the podium. How did I get here? I could only think of a reason.
Yeah. So I like how in this first paragraph you highlighted all the first person singular. So
All
I think
pronouns.
all the pronouns, exactly. Yeah. So I think you're really getting this concept. So now, did you see any parts where there was a character description in this paragraph as well?
Could you say like, I have received plenty of awards?
Mm-hmm.
Could you do that?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Also maybe the way she's describing how she's feeling.
Okay. I was thinking, okay, that makes sense. So my knees were shaking, my heart was racing, my breathing was rapid, I'm nervous.
Yeah. Describes her mom as well.
Nervous smile.
Yeah.
She tried to comfort me.
Yeah. Kind of, sort of.
I returned my attention to my English teacher at the podium. Okay.
Yeah.
Setting description. Let's do that one.
Yeah.
Okay. English teacher at the podium.
Mm-hmm.
How did I get here?
Yeah. Let's keep reading, see if we can find some more.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to
Yeah.
do the rest though?
Yeah, so I'll read the next.
Oh.
I'll read the next
Okay,
paragraph.
but I think there's some interesting details.
Okay, you can highlight those.
Okay, so I think some interesting details is why should this one be any different? Why is she so nervous about this award?
Mm-hmm.
And I can think of only one reason. It sparks my interest
It
in the
does.
story
Yeah.
about what could be happening next.
Awesome. Okay, so I think you know what this next part is an example of.
Oh,
Can you read it first though?
read it. Okay.
Yeah, you can read it.
For your semester project, you will have to write a report and make a presentation. The presentation should be unique and original. Good luck. I think that is what we call dialogue.
Yep,
Which
has its
is-
quotation marks.
Blue, yellow plus blue is green.
Awesome. Okay, I'll read the next paragraph. With that, my English teacher finished class. Great. Being creative wasn't one of my favorite things in the world. I had to think of a way to present my report on the end of the world in different cultures, and I had to think of it quickly. After 2 days of nothing, I was about to give up. The research wasn't going anywhere either. Reading site after site on the apocalypse made me feel like I was constantly in church. Then it hit me. I could present my report like a gospel minister. The more I thought about it, the more excited I became. I prepared my skit and borrowed a black robe that I could use for my costume.
You want me to find the first person?
No, you don't have to find all this.
Really, I'm good at that.
Yeah, right. So, this is just kind of this narrative.
Do you want me to find one of these? Just one?
Sure, we can find one.
Which one do we find? I want to find this one.
Okay, you can find that one. Alright, all the first person
So
singular.
good at this. My report. And I, me, I, me, I, my, I, my. Boom.
I think you missed one.
What?
Just kidding.
Did I?
No.
Stop. I did not miss one.
Awesome. I was just testing you. Okay, can you read the next paragraph for me?
I did not miss one.
Good job.
Okay. Before I knew it, the day had come and I had to present my project. I was one of the last ones up. So I had the opportunity to see the other students' presentations. Their presentations were all on the same things. Go up, tell facts, sit down. What was I thinking? No one's project was creative. I was going to make a fool of myself.
Okay, Christine, your turn.
Oh.
No!
Should I mark the dialogue?
Sure.
Okay, is that
Green.
green?
Yep.
Dialogue. I like personal narratives.
Me too. Okay. No! I can't do this! I looked around the classroom, noticing every last person's gaze. Then I saw my friend, with a huge grin on his face. He had known about my presentation since the beginning, and he was looking forward to seeing it. At that point, I knew I could do it. I slipped on the black robe and left Christine behind. The end of the world is coming. Are you ready? Well, when I am done with you, you will be ready. Can I get an amen? You see, ... I started the presentation with a jolt, making clear the enthusiasm in my voice. Before I knew it, the class was laughing and participating in my presentation. The further I got, the better my acting was. When I ended, the whole class cheered, and I was able to sit down with my heart swelling with pride. I loved the attention, and I loved the acting. After class, people were congratulating me and telling me how good I was. I even had a friend who kept telling me her twin sister was my biggest fan. Her twin sister was my biggest fan. She said that her sister could not wait for the next English presentation to see what I would do. Can you read the last paragraph, Ray?
As I sat in that chair listening to my English introduce me.
English, I think it's the English teacher.
There's an error. The student corrects the error. English teacher.
Yeah.
Okay. For my award, I realized why I was so nervous. All the other times I received awards, it was for something I always do. And it isn't that special to me. But this time I was receiving an award for something that I found out I love to do. It was because of that presentation that I became interested in acting. And with my friends beside me to cheer me on, I began to become more interested, even thinking about trying it out professionally. The English Award still says today to Christine Hyman for your hard work, effort, and of course your dramatic presentations that excited the bejesus out of all of us. Out of us all.
Yeah, awesome.
Bejesus.
So I think definitely in this last paragraph there's some
Interesting details.
or personal insights. Yeah. So it's kind of showing what the moral of the story is.
Yeah, it taught her that she loved acting
Mm-hmm.
because this presentation became acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, you did great.
Moving pronouns?
No, you're fine. You can do that later on your own time.
Okay. Come after school.
The reason we did these examples and looked at characteristics of personal narrative is because we are going to be writing our own personal narratives in class.
Right now?
Not just yet, but we're gonna prepare to write right now. Okay? So just kind of get your brain moving, thinking of ideas, of things that you might want to write about. We have a awesome personal narrative idea chart. So in each box, there's a kind of a prompt where you can think of things that have happened to you in your life. You can write down at least one in each box, but if you will have more, you can write down more. And so you just get some ideas of things you might want to write about. So you can go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Times you learn how to do something.
Yeah. So an example of that might be learning how to swim, riding a bike,
Tie your shoes.
tie your shoes.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I was in elementary school, and I went to this lady that was a supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, my shoes untied. She said, "You're 6, tie your own shoes," and she walked away. I was really sad. I went home and I was crying.
My mom's like, why are you crying? He's like, no, I need to tie my shoes. And she told me to tie my shoes.
Your mom did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It's pretty traumatic. Places I visited.
Yeah.
Um,
That maybe taught you something or made you look at the world a different way or see things a different way.
one time I went to Washington, D.C. That was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, I learned about United States and its history.
Yeah. How did that change your perspective on life?
Maybe that there were a lot of sacrifices and effort that went into founding the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me more appreciative.
Awesome.
Starting something new.
Yeah.
Basketball. I started playing basketball.
Yeah. Was it hard when you first started?
No, it was really easy. I didn't realize I was good at it. And then I played it. And my mom was like, why aren't you playing basketball more? And I don't know.
Awesome.
I like basketball. This is good. I think I'll write about this one. About starting basketball.
Starting basketball?
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like I could write the most about that one.
yeah, you might write the most about that one. What do you think? What kind of personal insight do you think you'd want to write about starting
I
basketball?
feel like we should try lots of new things because we'll never know if we'll be good at them.
Yeah. That seems like a great topic to choose.
We shouldn't be afraid to try something new.
Mm-hmm.
We may learn that we like it a lot.
It sounds great. I think you have a lot of stuff to go on with that. I think you'll have a great personal narrative essay.